everybody, welcome to my channel. Lighting some incense. If it looks like I'm sweaty, it's because I am. It's pretty humid in Virginia. I think yesterday was like 93, but it felt like 102. Today was really humid and lots of rain. So if I look sticky, it's because I'm sticky. This sounds bad. So anyway, today, the topic of today is your spiritual guidance. So I kind of want to talk about a couple things about your spirit guides. Your spirit guides have weird ways of communicating with you. Let me put this incense down here. I'm getting through my ticks, guys. Just ignore it. So, there's a couple ways that your guides can help you kind of get through your life. Like, they're spirit guides. They are spiritual guides to literally help guide you through different events through your life. A lot of your spirit guides, well, you'll have many spirit guides. You don't typically just have one spirit guide. So you'll have different spirit guides that kind of help you through different events in your life. And they kind of give you different, it's kind of hard to explain. They guide you in different ways. Like you could be going through, I don't know, maybe a bad relationship, or you're having a hard time in your career. So there are different guides to get you through different things, because certain guides specialize in special areas. It's kind of like if I was your spirit guide and I knew nothing about a certain subject, I wouldn't be guiding you on that. So specific guides are kind of more experienced and advanced in certain areas, and that's how they help you. And then sometimes when you get through an experience or an obstacle in your life and that spirit guide is no longer needed, sometimes they will go off to guide somebody else, and you'll have a new spirit guide come in for a different part of your life. They have different ways. You do have some spirit guides that will stick with you through your entire life, that you basically have like a contract with before you come here physically. So you will have a couple that will be here throughout your lifetime, and then you will have some that will come and go. So there are a few ways that you can hear what your spiritual guides are telling you. So if you're not like very in tune with your guides, or you don't understand how to hear them or communicate with them, there are some ways that you can kind of decipher what your spirit guides are telling you. Some people will have their spirit guides come to them in dreams, so it is kind of important to keep dream journals. A lot of people don't remember their dreams, but if you do start keeping a dream journal and literally writing down your dreams when you wake up, you will actually start, the more you keep track of your dreams, the more you'll remember your dreams. So it is kind of important to keep a dream journal, because you can, through your dreams, find patterns. So hi, Zenya. Sorry. So yeah, that's one way that they'll come through, is through your dreams. You will kind of know that your spirit guides are trying to tell you something. Say you're in like a really bad situation, a living situation or something, and you keep being pulled towards like a different, like something's telling you to get out of there, or you keep in your mind, say you're having a lot of thoughts about something, like, I'll make an example. I've always wanted to live in like an RV or a van, and kind of live like a gypsy life, I guess. And through different experiences, I've lived in like different apartments and stuff like that. my guides just started telling, like, basically pushing me, like, making me do this. They didn't have to, like, say physically, like, hey, you need to go move into a van. Like, they would show me signs, like synchronicities, I guess you'd say. Some people will notice that they have synchronicities with numbers. They might see things multiple times over and over throughout the day. There's no such thing as, I'm having a really hard time with words today. Think. There's no such thing as coincidences. There's not. So my spirit number is 1234. I see that everywhere, religiously, like every day. Like, my spirit guide will make me look at my phone at 1234 just to say, hey, you're on the right track. There are ways of them telling you things. Something can pop up repeatedly and you could be like, wow, that's really interesting, because I was just thinking about that. Like today, for example, I was on the phone with my mom on Skype and we were trying to plan days off so we could go canoeing, right? I was standing in the middle of a parking lot talking about going canoeing, right? Just a random thing. I get in my van, I sit down, and a guy pulls up, literally as soon as I get in the van, a guy pulls up in a Honda Civic with a canoe on the top of his roof. And he brings it down to the lake. And I'm just like, that's the weirdest thing. I was just standing right there talking about canoeing, and this guy just pulled up with a canoe. So maybe that's my spirit guide's way of saying, yeah, you need to go canoeing with your mom. Like, maybe that will... It's just, they're kind of like telling you to go do something or go enjoy your life. But when spirit guides are trying to tell you that there's like something big that you need to be doing with your life, sometimes I'll get like thoughts in my head, like they try to motivate me, like they're trying to drill something into my mind. Just like lately I've been thinking about moving to Florida for the wintertime. My ex-boyfriend passed away, and me and his family have become very close. My sister lives in Florida, and two of his brothers live in Florida. And it's kind of funny that I live in a van, and now my ex's brother is talking about converting a van. So he was like, hey, if you're ever in Florida, and yada yada, and I was like, wow, that's really weird, because I was gonna move to Florida for the wintertime. But spirit guides, when they are trying to push you in the direction that you're supposed to go, they will kind of, okay, I know it's totally off topic, let me switch. We're gonna talk about the third eye real quick, because a lot of people are like, oh, my third eye's not open, I don't know how to listen to spirit, yada yada. Your third eye is basically like your imagination. Like, do you ever just sit there and daydream about things that you want in your life? Just like, you think about this all the time and you're like, I don't know why I'm thinking about this all the time, but I'm just like obsessed with this, and like this is something I really want to do now. And sometimes you'll be like, nah, I'm just gonna go on with my life, and then it pops back up in your mind. It's your spirit guide saying, yeah, this is what you're supposed to be doing. So there's a lot of times where I'll sit there and think about Florida, and then, you know, like, no, I'm just gonna stay here for the winter, and yada yada. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere again, something will make me think about that again. You need to move to Florida. Or someone will message me who lives in Florida, or somebody will talk about how great Florida is. And it's like, my spirit guides are basically saying, you know, you need to go to Florida. So when it pops up over and over and over again, and you're like, I don't know why I'm thinking about this so much, like I'm not really that interested in it, but it just keeps coming up in my mind. Your spirit guides are telling you to follow that. So follow your intuition. If there's something on your mind a lot, it might be your spirit guides telling you that that's something that you should be doing. You'll notice patterns in certain things, like I said, in your dreams. If there's something that your guides want you to do, they will actually just tell you. So learning how to decipher spirits between your own imagination and what spirit is telling you is kind of hard sometimes. So if you practice meditation, you might understand that. But, so let me think about this. So if you say you meditate and you clear your mind, and there will be like images that pop up in your head. Sometimes it's you, sometimes it's spirit. And it's kind of difficult to figure out what is yourself and what is spirit. So I don't know why I'm having a complete blank right now. That's the way I feel like. Stop it. It is hot. I know my dog is trying to cuddle with me and it's so hot. So I'm getting distracted. So anyway, your imagination controls a lot. And sometimes it's not your imagination. A lot of the time, if you really pay attention, it's half the time it's not even your own mind that you're controlling. Your guides just put images in your head. There's different ways that they will try to communicate with you. Through dreams, through numbers, through synchronicities, through songs. You could do automatic writing, and they could write through you. You just really have to learn if it's you or them. You gotta decipher your own thoughts and your own writing between their putting thoughts in your mind to them communicating with you through writing or whatever it may be. The dream journal and such like that, they will also come to you through your dreams and give you messages as well, but a lot of people just don't remember. I'm having bad tics tonight. I wasn't before I made this video. So just try to pay attention to what your guides are trying to tell you, because a lot of the time they are trying to guide you in the right direction. So don't ignore it. If there's something that's really on your mind a lot and you've been thinking a lot about making a change in your life, and no matter how hard you can't get rid of that thought, like you're like, oh, it's just something I've been thinking about, it's nothing, I'm probably not gonna do it. But then a week later it pops back in your mind and there's just a bunch of stuff going through your mind and you're thinking about stuff a lot. You know, you go back and forth, you're like this and that, but then something else will come along kind of hinting at the same thing you've been thinking about. You're like, wow, that's kind of weird. It's not weird. It's just, you're just going through a transition in your life. And life is about change. We're all going to change a lot. We're constantly evolving. There's a lot of people in the world right now that are going through awakenings, spiritual awakenings. We're learning how to communicate with our guides in the universe. Just open your mind. Just listen. It's really not that hard. I think a lot of people just get really confused because they don't understand what is their own thought and what is spirit. They're like, oh, my guides don't communicate with me. I don't hear my guides. But you're not listening. You're not closing. You're not. If it's somebody like me who has ADD and Tourette's and just literally, I can't even get a sentence out without thinking about something else. There's like always a thought behind a thought. There are so many thoughts. So if you're like me, I mean, I know how to listen to my guides and I know what is going through my mind and what's going through my mind that's them. But it takes a while to understand that a lot of your thought is not just your thought. That's how they tell you things sometimes. They can't always be in your ear giving you advice. But I know a lot of the time, when I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing in life, my synchronicities don't show up. Like, when I start getting back on path and I'm doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing in my life, that's when I start seeing them really, really intense. My numbers pop up all over the place, and it's basically them telling me you're on the right path, keep doing what you're doing. So they will communicate with you. You just have to learn how to listen to them, and it's really important that you do that, because they are here to help you. They're supposed to. So if there's something that you've been thinking about, a big change in your life, something that you really want to be doing for a long time, you keep putting off, stop putting it off. If you've been thinking about it, if you've been dwelling on it, putting it aside, making excuses about it, saying, I don't have enough money, I don't have time, blah, blah, blah. I didn't have money or time to buy a van and build it, but I did it. So you just do it. Don't make excuses. Life is short. Your guides are telling you to do it now, because we're about constant transitioning and there's a lot going on in the world. So it's a really good time to open up your mind and kind of do something different. You don't have to be just like everybody else. You don't have to have a fancy car, a great job, or apartment. Just do what makes you happy, because life is short and you need to be happy. Life is about love and enjoyment, and fulfilling your soul's purpose, which is happiness, believe it or not. So I love you guys. If you have any questions about anything, let me know. I'll see you next time.